I hope you're having a tremendous day. Now let's get into it. The Urban Paraphrase.
Romans chapter 8. Paul was like, so chill. Ain't no punishments being handed out for those who believe in Jesus, the chosen one. I'm talking about the ones who chasing after the breath of God, not the ones who being led around by their human impulses. Because of Jesus, God breathed his breath in y'all and uncuffed y'all from the rules that led to failure and death. What my weak impulses wouldn't allow the rules to do for me, God did for me when he sent Jesus out here. He sent him out here looking weak, just like one of us. But his death satisfied God completely. He sent him out here to take care of our failures, and God punished the failure by designating him to die so we could be seen as living up to the rules. So now we're living our best life. We ain't going back and forth. Nah, we can go on and accept the new life the Hagios breath gave us. The ones who out here living it up in their humanity got humanity on their mind, i.e., they think impulsively. But the ones who live in alignment with the breath of God, they stay thinking about what he wants. They take a back seat to him instead of prioritizing themselves. How you even got time to think about God if you so focused on yourself? It's impossible. A humanity-dependent mindset is a dead one, but a mind dependent on God's breath is alive. It's peaceful and restful, and it's quiet. Verse 7. A mind that's being led around by human weaknesses hate God's guts. It can't stand God's rules and couldn't follow them if it tried. And people who ain't willing to stop being led around by their natural human impulses can't satisfy God. I ain't talking about y'all though. Y'all different. Y'all being led around by the Hagios breath, aka the breath of God. That's if he really living inside of y'all. But if anybody ain't got the breath that was living in Jesus, you ain't none of his. But if he inside you, your body dead because of failure. But the breath of God is what's giving you life, because God made you right and gave you his stamp of approval. On the cool, your life just started, fam. Now if the same breath that got Jesus up out the grave is the same breath that's living in you, then he'll make your dying body live too. So it's on us, bruh, to not be out here trying to live being led by our natural human impulses and inclinations. Cause if you get caught up in that kind of life, you gonna die, bro. But the good news is, if you use God's breath to kill the impulsive activities that fuel your body, you gonna live. And everybody who being led around by the breath of God, they take a back seat instead of prioritizing themselves. And God is their daddy for real. And they his sons and daughters. See, God gave us his breath as a gift. We ain't gotta be handcuffed no more, shackled and locked down like a slave. Nah, the breath within us makes us his children. He adopted us, so we ain't gotta be all scared and timid. We can literally yell out, "Daddy, Daddy," with boldness and confidence whenever we want to, because the breath inside of us confirms it. His breath and my breath agree that God, you are the Father. So now if we are his children, and let's be clear, we entitled to an inheritance. We legitimate and co-inheritors with Jesus, the chosen one. And we feeling the smoke with him right now. So when it's all said and done, he gonna share some of his spotlight with us too. My takeaway is this: the whole heap of troubles we in right now, excuse me, take your time. It don't even compare. It ain't got nothing on the spotlight that's on the way. Apples and oranges. Man, we can hardly wait for the final unveiling of all God's children when we all get together. Remember, everything would throw it off and spiral out of control, not because of something it did, but because somebody, I ain't calling no names, Adam and Eve, messed up and threw it off. So this whole time, Everything, not just people, but everything God created, been waiting and anticipating being free from all the dust and decay. Low-key, that wasn't never the move. That wasn't even close to the original plan. Everything created been waiting to shine and be free with God's children too. Everything God created been in pain and moaning like a pregnant lady about to have a baby. Creation been hurting for a whole minute. We all feel it. We all in the same boat. And if you listen up, you can hear the moaning and groaning right now. And even though we got the breath of God early, we hurting on the inside while we waiting on our adoption to be finalized, i.e., the release from our physical bodies. When we got rescued, the anticipation kicked in. But you don't have to anticipate stuff you can already see. That don't make no sense. Ain't nobody out there anticipating stuff they already have. But if we anticipate stuff we ain't got, we gotta wait and be a little more patient. But the breath of God comes alongside of us and lends us a helping hand. And in those times we get weak and ain't got a clue what to say to God, the breath of God talks to God for us. He takes our moaning and our groaning and communicate with God through it. And the one who know all about what's in our heart know what the Hagiah's breath thinking too. He talked to God for us based on what he know God want. And if God don't want it, he ain't asking for it. But now here's the thing. Whether we get what we want or not, we know God gonna take care of his people who love him. For them, he synergizes everything and make it all work out in the end no matter what. A good outcome is unstoppable for the ones that's participating in his plan. Verse 29. God knew what he was doing from jump, from day one. He determined that the people who really loved him would have to take on the look and character of his son. I'm talking about Jesus, the firstborn. But now, Jesus got a whole lot of brothers and sisters out here, and God invited all the ones who looked like Jesus and gave them his stamp of approval. So now what we gonna say in response to everything God did? He literally unstoppable, bruh. And if he on your team, you ain't taking no L's. He thought enough about us to ask his son, his only son, to die in our place. And if he did that, do you really think he's holding something back? If he was kind enough to give us his son, he'll give us any and everything. Now who up here bringing charges against God's premium selections? He the one who invited them. He the one who freed them and gave them his stamp of approval. So where the prosecutors at? And who out here handing out punishments? Bet not be none of y'all. Jesus, the chosen one, then already died. On top of that, he was brought back to life. Now he in God's right ear, talking to him about us. He be asking him to give us what we need. So what's powerful enough to pull us away from that kind of love? The love we get from the chosen one. Ain't enough smoke in the world. Ain't enough pressure, or difficulty, or suppression, or drought, or lack of clothes, or getting stabbed. None of that, or any other threat in the world can keep him from loving us. Ain't nothing coming between us. One of the OGs put it like this: it's because of you that we be getting death threats all day. We like some little sheep just waiting around to be killed. But real talk, the way Jesus' love set up, we win a whole lot more than regular winners. You ain't gotta convince me, cause I already know that dying, nor living, no divine angels, or so-called leaders, not right now and not later on, nothing miraculous, nothing high, nothing deep, none of it. Ain't nothing in the world pulling us away from the love that God showed us through Jesus, the chosen one, our leader. And that's on period.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up with the latest devotional content.